Hello everybody, it's Brian for GadgetUnit.com, and it's time for episode 54 of my question and answer series. We have a fair number of comments this week, which is pretty cool. So going all the way to the bottom, starting with Mr. HIEJ, you should do other things on your channel like best apps or games on your Mac and maybe a face cam. I don't mind putting myself in videos, but it's just unnecessary. There's not really too much point in doing that. It's just extra editing that I have to do. In regards to the best apps or games on my Mac, all the games I have are actually in Windows on my MacBook Air, and I do plan on doing a dedicated video showing all of the games and things I have going on over there. In terms of apps, I don't really have best apps. I mean, the apps that I have on here aren't considered the best in general. They're just there because I need them for things. But yeah, I will be doing overviews of my MacBook Air and my Windows partition on my MacBook Air. From Jared71, how's the durability of the S4 compared to the iPhone 5? I think that the iPhone 5 is definitely more durable, especially given it's made of metal materials, although one thing to keep in mind obviously is that since the S4 is made of plastic, it's much easier to replace parts. Or you could just get a case for both devices and not have to worry about durability, but in general the iPhone 5 is definitely more durable. From MarkJeff222, why did you give up using the iOS 6.1.2 jailbreak and update to iOS 7? Well, I mean, it was either a make it or break it deal when I saw the iOS 7 keynote. I told myself I was either going to stick with the 6.1.2 jailbreak or immediately go to iOS 7, and obviously I've immediately gone to iOS 7 because it's completely fresh, it looks good, and it adds a lot of features that were available for jailbreaks, including Control Center, of course. I mean, I've been using the crap out of that, so I don't miss anything from jailbreaking except for quick reply for messages. That it is pretty annoying when you're getting lots of messages and you have to constantly switch between applications, but it's not too bad and I've gotten used to it so far. Will you downgrade back to iOS 6 without a jailbreak or keep using iOS 7 betas? I'm just going to stick with iOS 7 because I like it, so there's not really any point in going to iOS 6 to live without a jailbreak, so I might as well just keep iOS 7. Lastly, compared to iOS 6 and 7 betas, which iOS of beta have more bugs? I didn't really use the iOS 6 beta too much, so I can't really answer that, but I will say that the iOS 7 beta, at least beta 1, it does have a fair amount of bugs, some of which are more noticeable than others, but I think that they're pretty simple bugs that Apple can fix quite easily. From LiveTech Australia, are you going to CES 2014? I would love to come. Well, I mean, my longtime followers know that I wasn't really a fan of CES 2011 or 2012 when I went, but for 2013 I didn't go, and to be honest, I kind of missed it. There's a lot of good stuff being announced this time that I missed out on, so not sure if 2014 is going to be like that, but I am planning on going. That's definitely going to happen. From Computer Kid 1, you haven't really changed much, but I don't think you spelled "you're" wrong. But I don't think you are boring or anything, but that's just me. I mean, it all depends on the style of videos that somebody makes. You either like it or you don't. So I think that I've done fairly decent over the years. I mean, I've been YouTubing for more than 3.5 years. But anyway, from Mahir Code, what is your setup of folders and home screen layouts on your iOS 7? I would show you through AirPlay mirroring on my MacBook Air, but I plan on doing a dedicated video showing what's on my iOS 7 iPhone 5. From Megan Farr, 3 good points on iOS 7 and 3 bad points. I honestly can't really think of any bad points yet. It's just very early stages in the iOS 7 beta, so there's a lot of things that can change. In terms of good points, I'd have to say everything. I like everything about iOS 7, from its fresh and modern design to its new features. Well, not really new, of course, they came from other platforms, but new to iOS. So far I like everything about iOS 7. Also from Megan Farr, what do you think about the Ubuntu phone, and what do you think about the Oppo Find 5? So for the Oppo Find 5, that is this. It's $569 off contract. I don't think anybody in the US is selling it subsidized, but it looks good. It really does look good. It's a bit plain overall, though. It reminds me more of a Sony phone than anything. In terms of specs, it doesn't look like it runs LTE, which is a bit of a disappointment, but everything else seems pretty much like every other Android phone nowadays, so it looks okay. I don't really like their Android skin. at all, so if I could be able to root that and go stock, that would be great. In regards to the Ubuntu phone, I haven't looked much into that. I don't really like the idea of Ubuntu on a phone. I mean, iOS 7 and Android and of course Windows Phone 8 are just so dominant that it's pretty much impossible for another platform to get into it unless they already have hundreds of thousands of applications that people want and accessories and things like that. From Jordan Farrington, when is iOS 7 going to be released to everybody? Because I thought it was only available on developer accounts now, which you are correct. It's only available on developer accounts. It's going to be released in the fall, probably late August or the middle of September, most likely. From XX I'm So Boss XX, how did you manage to update your phone without breaking it? I thought that when you updated jailbroken software that it automatically bricks it. You are correct. When you update from a jailbroken version of iOS to a stock one, your device will not boot. So what I did is I restored to 6.1.4 to make it stock, and then I updated to 7.0. And while I was on 6.1.4, I went ahead and restored my backup and then went to 7.0, so I still had everything. And that's pretty much all I did. There's not really too much to troubleshoot. This is because I'm jailbroken. Well, you can't update. You would have to... Why would you want to go to 6.1.3 anyway? There's probably no fixes in it to really make anybody want to update. So I think triple. I would think 3 times before doing this, because I don't really see any advantages to going from jailbroken 6.1.2 to stock 6.1.3. And from Corollos iHelp 101, what do you think of the Toshiba C855-29L? That is this, I think. Looks like it. And not too sure of the price, so I can't comment on that, but it's using a pretty low-end Intel processor. I think it looks nice. White laptops tend to look pretty cool. 1 terabyte hard drive at 5400 RPM, so that's a little bit slower than most. It looks like it comes with 8 gigabytes of RAM. It's not the fastest or most modern RAM around, but it's not bad. Integrated Intel HD graphics. That's not too good, to be honest, so unless you are planning on never gaming, then this would be fine. It's a bit of a low resolution display, that's for sure. I would have to say that at least for a 15-inch display, you would want 1600 by 900. Most 15-inch displays nowadays from good laptop companies will go with 1080p displays. Only one USB 3.0 port, which isn't really nothing to be excited over. It doesn't even have gigabit LAN. I mean, that's like a $2 feature. Depending on its price, this could be a decent laptop. If it's really more than I would say $450, that's too much. But the specs are okay. It all depends on what you want in your laptop. From Jelly Rolls 7, is a MacBook Pro worth the money? Well, it really depends on how much money you have to spend on things and what you're looking for in a laptop. To some people, the MacBook Pro could easily be worth it, while to a lot of others, it's probably an overpriced, underpowered computer, especially for the price. So like with the previous question, it all depends on what you're looking for out of your laptop. Lastly, from XX I'm So Boss XX, top 10 App Store apps, paid or free doesn't matter, and could be a game or anything. I don't really have a top 10 for apps because, like I said from the first question, I don't really have, a set of favorite apps. The apps that I have are apps that I want. I don't use them just because they're cool or popular. I use them because I have some sort of need for them. But here are the apps that I have installed. I'm not going to go through these individually because, like I said earlier, I'm just going to be going through a more in-depth video separately. But that's what I have. I don't really have a top 10, so I'm sorry I can't answer that. But that concludes episode 54 of my question and answer series. If you have any questions that you would like me to try and answer, go ahead and leave those down below. But that's it with this video. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll talk to you all very soon.